Herkese selam arkadaşlar. Kingdom Come Deliverance'ın yeni bir bölümüne hoş geldiniz. 6. bölümün oyun kanalımızdan devam ediyoruz. Bakalım bu bölümde neler olacak. Şimdi bana diyor ki Rattay turnuvası varmış. Oraya git diyor. Oraya gitsek mi? Bir tane etkinlik yapmış oluruz en azından. Sadece 3 görevi aynı anda yürütebilirsin diyor. Tamam bunu sonra abi. Bu, ben buradayım lan zaten. Bir de öyle. Bunu sonra Bir de Rattay turnuvası diyor. Rattay turnuvası bu. Aman ben giderim şimdi oraya dur. Önce şuna gideceğim. Şunu sonra o katibi ziyarete gidiyoruz şimdi. Evet tamam. Hadi bakalım. Önde ne olacak? Önce katibin yanına gidiyoruz. Bu A bayağıdır duruyor o yüzden önce bir yan görev gibi kısmi bir şey. Onu bir dene bakalım. Katip ne diyecek bize. Bakalım bakalım. Heh.
God be with you.
I'd like to learn to...
You? You don't look like the making. Bear in mind, it won't be all that easy.
Bolca
We'll need
vakitimi
plenty of...
başlayabiliriz.
I don't want to waste time. We can get started.
Very well. I will require some groschen for...
Tamam ödeme yaparız
Here are
kardeşim.
your
Ah,
Russian.
Then we may as well start.
Allah Allah. Otomatik öğren bitti işte.
He did break his vow. But better than to dishonor it here.
Katip demek ki
May he...
okuma yazma öğretiyormuş. Okey.
Wake up, lad. It's time we were getting on.
Bir yemek yeseydik.
So, let's see you read a bit. There's a book here on the table. Try to read it.
Will I manage?
You ought to be able to. It's a simple text. Come back once you've worked your way through it.
I've read the book.
Wonderful. So tell me, what have you learned?
There was something about some...
Well, the main thing is you've managed to read the book. The rest is just practice. Like I told you, books are valuable.
Does that mean that I can read then?
Yep, now we'll move on to... There's a book on the...
I only just managed the fable about the gift.
You're a clever...
I'm looking for a fellow who lives here, but I don't know his name.
Must be that farmhand Lubosh. I don't know what the hell...
I read the page.
So tell me,
Nutus...
Not bad for a first try, lad. Try...
I read the page.
So tell me.
Uh,
Good heavens! Don't tell me you haven't had lessons before.
Thank you, Dominic.
Who's brave enough to try horseradish? Hotter.
I'm honored that a knight such as you... Farewell.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Move along, citizens. Move along. There's nothing to see here.
That's what you call nothing to see. I'd like to know what something to see looks like.
By the keys of St. Peter, this is all I need. We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry of Skalitz, in the service of Hanush's Captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhof, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff of Auschwitz. And I say we don't want any of that kind of trouble around here. What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhof?
One of the folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
We have no bandits or murderers around here.
Really? They say he had a limp?
Shit. Well, allow me to introduce you to Limpy Lubosh. Or all that's left of him.
Herifi bayağı asıp gebertmişler lan.
Sakra. Nothing's ever easy. I'll have to take a look around and ask a few more questions, if that's all right with you.
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it. As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you like.
Who was Limpy Lubosh?
A poor crofter and a scoundrel. Can't say I'm too surprised. He kept company with all sorts of vermin. He was always getting into some kind of trouble. Punch-ups and...
How come he limped?
He got that from some villainy or brawl a long time ago.
Has he been up to anything suspicious lately?
I don't know. The last few days he didn't go anywhere. He was home the whole time. But he always kept everyone in the village at arm's length.
Did he have any kith or kin in the village?
None. A loner he was. I don't know the last...
Do you happen to know where he was on the night of the Neuhof raid?
I've no idea. He kept his distance from other folk, so you never knew if he was away or holed up at home.
When did you find the body? And did anyone see anything?
Just now, and nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know how they could gut him like that without...
Another thing about Lubosh.
Good health to you.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre.
Of course.
That man Lubosh who was...
He was a drunk who was always looking for a fight. Nobody liked him much, but...
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Well, now I think of it, I hadn't seen him around for a while.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
Not a clue.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time with?
He was a loner. He didn't even have any mates.
That's all. Thank you.
Good morning.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa.
Ask away.
Who was this?
He was a drunkard and a beast. And lazy too. Idle.
Have you noticed anything suspicious?
The only thing seemed suspicious was how a rogue like him suddenly started going to church.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
What do I care about that scoundrel? I was glad he stayed out of my way.
Do you know who Lubosh...
He was always a loner.
That's all.
Rahipler.
Take care.
Tamam, şu ablaya da sorayım sonra gidelim.
Good morning.
Rahibe.
I've come in the name of...
I don't know how I can...
Who was this Lubosh?
You could see at first glance he was no good.
Have you noticed any...
There wasn't sight or sound of him for a long time. And then yesterday, he turned up...
Do you know what Lubosh was doing?
I don't think he was home.
Do you know who...
As far as I know, he...
That's all.
Okey. Dur bakayım. Son bir kişi daha. O bitti kara vena sepeti terazi lastik jimnastik geldik bitlendik bittik izlendik dik sana
God be with you.
I've come in the name...
I don't know how I can help you, but ask if you...
Evet, sana sordum zaten.
Take care.
Sana sorayım teyze.
Good morning.
I've come in the...
Ask away.
Who was this?
He was a...
That's all.
Ha, hepsi aynısını söyleyecek artık.
Good
Tamam.
luck then.
Kilise nerede yukarıda? Tamam.
Yeah.
Atla işte şuradan yukarı çıkacaksın alt tarafa.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
En son seninle konuştuklarına gelmişler.
Yeah.
Nerede abi bu? Kilise.
Yeah.
Haritada yok yani hızlı diyeyim. Şeyi açmak gerekiyor. Menü. Nerede lan ben? Şurası. Sağ altta ya da sol altta bir harita olsa. Keşke seçenek koysalarmış sadece. İsten Shops. Aa, rahip yok. Bence rahip gebertti onu. Rahip ne box? Aa, rahip yok. Rahibi gördün mü?
God save.
I've come in the name of Sahana.
Ask all you want.
Who was this?
Those that live by the sword.
Have you noticed?
Everything about him was the same.
That's all.
May the Lord watch over.
Lan rahip yok, rahip. İçeride değil. Gerizekalı içeride değilsin, nerede? Oha. Oha. Açsana abi, tamam, zor. Herif orada. Az önce geldiğimde burada yoktu. Burada yok, içeride yok yani. Tırmanamıyor ki. O ne lan? Rahip mi? Evet, dışarı çıkmış.
I see you know how to... I wouldn't have expected that.
With a stick. I practiced with a stick.
The blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But ask as...
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
Bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was such a bad person.
Did you notice anything suspicious recently?
My child. All sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like Lubosh don't know...
That's really not a lot of help to me, Father.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing?
Unfortunately, I do know. And I...
What?
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murder?
There are laws of God above the laws of man, son.
Father, surely you can't be serious. There must be situations in which you can make an exception.
There are things that apply always, no matter what the circumstances, and this is one of them.
For heaven's sake, Father, can you really look me in the eye and tell me that when you know you may be condemning innocent people to death?
I can, because if I broke that vow, the consequences would be much worse.
Father, Lubosh was my only lead to the Neuhof raiders. If I don't find out who it was, it will probably happen again. Sure.
I wouldn't. But I can't betray the sanctity of the... Suppose we talk it over in the evening, in the tavern.
All right.
May the Lord watch over you.
Have you thought of a way to help me solve...
Let's leave it for the evening. May the Lord watch over you.
Allah belanı... Kaçacak ki. Bunu bana şimdi sıçtık mı? Puan kataloğu sistemi var, çok önemli değil.
The blessings of our Lord.
And with you, lad.
My pleasure.
I'm sorry I can't tell you everything. But first I'd like to hear something about you, my son.
I'm from Scarlet.
Oh.
All the best.
They're dead.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It must have been terrible.
It was. But I really don't.
I understand. And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir
He did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Ujits, so he sent me.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone you... Now the most important thing. What actually happened at Neuhof?
The rumors aren't exaggerated this time. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarreled among themselves and broke off the attack. Judging by...
I see it's every bit as bad as people claim. Well then, here's to those poor souls who had to die so
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look... I noticed you're pretty handy with a sword.
You know what they say.
But this is a bit more mysterious.
Let's just say I haven't always been a priest. Fate led... These days, of course, it's just a bit of exercise.
Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but... So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exception. If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they...
A tankard here.
You're just making excuses. The people who say the church is corrupt are right.
I'm sorry you see it that way. Really sorry.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the idea?
Well, Ujits is in Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be...
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard.
It has to be something topical. Condemning vices. The tongue-lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories, especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous...
Can you give...
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started... I hear he always has a full house. A journey... I'm thinking about putting it in...
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of mastery. The lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison. And nearly the whole... Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every... They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth. And they shameless... You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend with such money gained while Jesus Christ walked barefoot? Look to your consciences, you Amen.
Well, this Jan Hus...
Oh,
I don't doubt.
Let's drink.
Funny.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics. I'm one with them in poverty.
Don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and then criticizes the...
No, I don't.
What do you think of this Jan?
He's certainly a wise man. A little overzealous. If he got out of Prague and came here for a look, I'm sure he'd stop condemning drinking and lying with women.
Where can I find out more about his...
You like it? I copied down some of...
What do the...
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control.
Yeah, unless they burn him at the stake.
Nonsense. They can't burn a master.
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I'd be... Oh, it's getting quite late.
What do you suppose? We have...
Well, enjoy it, Father.
I thought you'd be...
So you won't help me out with that secret?
No.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Daim'in güvenini niye kazanamadık?
Take care now.
Evet diyecektim yani. Ya bir yürü git Allah aşkına ya. Daim'in güvenine sokayım, affedersin. Bana ne ya? Dur. Bir dakika. İşte onun işte saldırmayı deneyeyim. Bu gerizekalı rahibe bari. Ne diyeyim ki ya? Tekrar geleceğim. Evet, buraya ikinci kere geldim. Bu sefer...
But Lubos is dead. You can't hurt him. But if you don't...
If I told you
Bu da
I would be
başız.
betraying a vow, if people believe
Worse than the death of...
no one escapes punishment.
Father... All right.
Take care now.
Buraları izledik zaten. Rahiple meyhanede buluş. Gene aynı şey. Tamam. Yine aynı şeyleri konuşacağız. Ondan sonra şey olacak. Tamam. Yani yapacak bir şey yok. Yine aynı şeyleri konuşacağız. Tamam, 20-21 iyidir herhalde ya. Ne turnuvası ama? Hiçbir şey işe yaramıyor ya bu herife. Saldırsam da bir şey yaramayacak. O yüzden...
I'm sorry, I can't tell.
I'm from... Dead. You think I'm too young for...
I do, to tell the...
Well, I can only apologise for my lack of...
Now the most important thing.
I'm sure they would...
Well,
I've told...
Look.
Well...
Here, just as you were.
Well, it has to be... Well, the preaching of... The, what if the...
God
What? What do you...
What? What? What? Thanks for this.
What do you suppose?
Ah,
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Przyszła bida mora lat, to nie ustoi żadnych lat.
Manyak mısınız ya? Yönetecek misiniz ya?
Niech już małżeński majstrat, do wczera żylne staje brak. Už sejmoj svatý muži, nechtěl bych bejbě jich kůži. Nám je to jedno a tak si dáme jedno a požadem si huby jako poslední den. Půlky se vápy a norada stávy a tak vypad sudy a posaď se mi sem. Tak posaď se sem a vypad je ven. Ukaž kozy jako vozy, zítra jen tu jsou nejdem, tak nalej mi hned, až točí se svět.
Bence de öyle.
Come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can write is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out.
You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
Come on then,
Bastard! You'll get your... So, my dear, wouldn't you like to have a little room with Elf? No sooner said than done.
I'd love to. And Henry, too, I'm sure. Right, Henry. Stop that nonsense, Doctor.
look at this beauty.
Oh. We can't do this, can we?
Who says? Get ringing, wench.
This is wonderful.
Ah, bloody oath. And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening.
Godwin, you old goat.
Come here. Oh.
The priest has mounted up. What do you say, Henry? Shall we take a little ride of our own?
Tövbe.
Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
Godwin, you beast! Get up! Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards!
Oh, fucking hell.
Where the... Oh, what the... Oh, who the hell are you? Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry. Didn't we have a wonderful time?
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on in my head. Oh my guts. Oh, my poor suffering stomach. Oh, what was that woman on about? Wait, before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten?
Where the fuck am I?
What the fuck was it?
Ana.
Mass! Oh shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass. You have to help me.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me.
I'd like to help you, but...
You can. You can do the sermon for me.
What? So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No. No, I've got it. Suppose that Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look, from what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this?
If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
Well, all right. I can't make any promises about what'll happen.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday, and no need to drag it out. If it turns out well, I'll tell you what I know.
Christ almighty.
Wonderful.
Bayağı.
Come on, Henry. Don't tell me you changed your
Değiştirdim,
mind.
fikrimi değiştirdim, Allah'ın belası.
What the?
İtibar kaybedildi mi? Aman. Yardım ediyoruz işte. Ludoş'un yerini söyleyecek. İtibar kaybedebilirsem onu kazanırım.
Look at him. He can hardly walk after his capers last night.
You were with them, you beast. Just you wait.
Look at him. Mother of God, any minute now he'll throw up.
I couldn't sleep a wink last night with all that clamor.
In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti.
Brothers and sisters, you may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who's here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where by the grace of God,
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point. I'd like to talk about the church and how corrupt it is.
That boy has a cheek.
One should not believe in the church, because the church is not God. God is above all things, and the church...
He's right.
It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that the accursed wealth that the church is drowning in is poisoning almost the whole of Christendom. When dogs are fighting over a bone, they show no mercy. Their hearts are poisoned by, you want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay, and you will have absolution.
For shame! Shame upon that!
It is the custom of the gluttonous prelates and monks to preach against sin. But what? Let us remember the marriage at Cana. He, whose companions were poor travellers...
Now that's the kind of sermon I like to hear.
No, brothers and sisters. Jesus did not condemn alcohol. Drink to lighten the cross you bear, for there should be moderation in all things.
He's right!
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you only pay. What if the devil himself were to pay? And what about those bishops? They sin with... They play dice. And look to your consciences, you robber.
Down with the prelates. Away.
We're fortunate to have our good Father Godwin. At least...
I say to you, in the words of Jan Hus, let each speak as much as he knows, and he who knows nothing, let him at least teach his neighbor. And that applies both to priests and...
That's his conclusion.
That is all I heard in Prague.
Oh, iyi. Oh. Ne bakıyorsunuz hadi lan? Yürüyün gidin.
The lad spoke well, considering what a soak he is.
He's right, that was.
The young man shouldn't drink so much.
but the Lord's given him a
I'm
silver
glad he
tongue.
came here. I don't suppose I'll ever get to Prague. And he told it nicely.
Well, well, my boy, you have talent, and I can't deny it. And you pulled a thorn from my side. I almost didn't make it.
Yeah, I noticed. And I wasn't the only one.
Oh, what's to be done? I'll make it up somehow.
So, about our bargain.
Although it's a sin.
So gluttony and fornication.
God does forgive a penitent.
So, what did Limpy Lubos tell you? Was he at Neuhof that day? Who was with him? And where are they now?
Now, slow down. I'm sorry, but he didn't tell me that much.
Don't let me down after all I've been through. For you...
Well, now Lubos came to me shortly after it happened. His conscience was gnawing at him. And I must say, in the end, he turned out to be a better man than he looked. He said they'd been hired through some crony of theirs. And at first they were just to steal some horses. But then it all turned sour and people started getting killed. And neither he nor his cronies wanted anything to do with that. So they fell out from the gang and fled.
Fell out? Yeah, there was a body found in the woods by Neuhof.
That would explain something. Lubos kept jabbering that he wasn't a murderer, that he didn't want to do it.
So I know that Lubos killed the murderer and he's dead too. The trouble is, I need to find the ones who are still alive. I need names and places. Did he mention any of the others?
Only nicknames. Talked about some fella called Riki from Ledechko. Pius, Timmy.
Pius. That lot are about as pious as I am ordained.
Nonsense. You would make an excellent priest. And anyhow, with your skills, you ought to be able to sniff out this Riki from Ledechko, right?
Well, we'll have to now. There's not much else to go on. Let's hope he's not hanging from the wall too.
Indeed. And I'd hate to be excommunicated for nothing. Anyhow, good luck. You watch out for yourself. These people clearly...
Ben kaydedildi. Hatta ben de kaydedeyim bir kere daha. Tamam. Ama bu bölüm bu kadar olsun. Papazdan bir şeyler öğrendik.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ya zaten alırım bir yerlerden. Neyse. Evet. İzlediğiniz için teşekkürler. Bir sonraki bölümde görüşmek üzere. Hoşçakalın.